Hey everyone, this is Brian Drury of Overcoming Graduation, and today I want to share a quick video on what separates experts and beginners. And one of my favorite examples from my life of this was when I started to learn salsa dancing. Now, I hadn't danced before. I'd maybe taken one dance during a Spanish class field trip in high school, but I always wanted to learn. And when I lived in North Carolina, I finally signed up for lessons and started taking Cuban salsa lessons. And it was one of the best decisions of my life because then I learned Cuban salsa, I learned bachata, I learned merengue, I learned kizomba. And then I went on to help my teacher teach. So my teacher eventually asked me to help out with the classes at the school and then at the events. And so I got to teach, I got to share, I got to dance, and I got to experience it. And as I've continued to dance throughout my life, it's something that is a never-ending pursuit. It's something that you can continue to grow in your entire life. There are people that have danced their entire lifetime and they're learning something new, something better, a slightly different way to do this, just a little tweak. And what I noticed was the incredible difference in the experts and the pros that I've gotten to dance with or learn from and the beginners. So here is a good example of what that looks like. Now, I remember being at dance lessons and thinking I knew what I was doing. I was like, okay, I got this. You just do a turn, you do it this way, right? That's how you do it, and this is how you hold your hand. And that had worked for me for years. I'd gone to social dancing. I had great dances with people. I got great feedback in the dances. So I'm like, I've got this, I understand. But still very much a beginner. Then I'm taking lessons from a pro. And the pro says to me, okay, when you're doing a turn, you only want to be using these two fingers. And you want to keep your hand here and you want to move like a saucer. And part of me goes, well, I know what I'm doing. I got it. I understand how to do it. I've been doing turns for years now, so I know what I'm doing, champ. But then I said, well, let me at least try it. So I try it and I'm like, wow, that was so much smoother. And then we start doing double turns. I'm like, oh, this is kind of the only way to do that. And you realize these fingers get in the way because you're here. The only way to get that turn and get that momentum without catching a finger or catching their fingers or breaking fingers is by keeping the hand that way. And you go, oh my God, okay, this is so much clearer, this is great. But then as you keep going, there's levels. It's the angle of your arm. It's how you're holding your chest. It's the position and the slight angle of turned away or towards the person within each turn. It's how you set it up. It's how you cue it. And then when you watch these pros dance, they look so effortless and they glide and it's so smooth, but you don't see all the magic and the intricacy until you start to study, until you get deep into it. So the main difference that I've seen between the beginners and the amateurs is the beginners have this high level knowledge that's very broad, but the experts not only have this depth of knowledge in multiple different areas within that field of study, they also have a voracious curiosity. They still want to learn and they keep learning because they know it's a never-ending pursuit. It's like someone who's fantastic at jujitsu, a world-class jujitsu practitioner. They're a person who, even if they've been doing it their entire life and they're considered one of the best in the world, they keep studying and they keep rolling because they realize there's an infinite amount of things that they could study to get better and better and better. So the beginners are making these tectonic plate shifts, these huge jumps. They're jumping up thing after thing. But these pros are making the 0.1% or the 1% shifts that are increasing their results 10 or 20 times because they're at such a high level that they can do this and they can tweak and they can pay attention to the little things that a beginner doesn't even have time for. So when you've created such a level of muscle memory in the skill that now you can pay attention to and practice other things within the moment, now you've reached a whole new level in your practice and your study of that art. This applies for dance or for jiu-jitsu or for internet marketing or for anything, because when you talk to the true experts, you can see the layers and the levels of knowledge they have beneath it, whereas most beginners have this. Most beginners know this turn or this one thing. But the real pros can tell you this because of this, because of this, because of this, because of this book I read from 1962 that says this, and it also came from this region, and that's why we do this. And the beauty in understanding this is if you're a beginner, it's one, connect with experts. That's one of the fastest ways to shorten your learning curve and not build the wrong habits at the start so you have to unlearn them later. But then two, if you're not connecting with an expert physically, like going and taking lessons, learn in books, learn in podcasts, learn in seminars, because this is a way for you to increase the levels of depth, the levels of knowledge. And also remember, this is really important. Find the things in your life that excite you enough that you want to go into that level of depth because that's where your passion lives and that's something that few people tap into. So don't be afraid of those things that you get lost in, that excite you, that lift you up, that you love just spending as much time on as you can. That may turn into something and could turn into something that you do as your career, as your job, or just a wonderful passion outside of the work that you do. I hope this video was of value to you today, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel And if you have any comments or feedback you'd love to share, I would love to hear it. I love hearing from you all. I love spending time with everybody. So please send me your comments, send me your feedback. I'd love to hear from you and what you want to see more of or what you'd like to see different. And then I'll get working on it because I'm here for you guys and I want to help. I love you all. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of this. And I'll be talking to you again real soon.